All right, folks, we're back. I know, I guess the last time you seen us was last Saturday night, and we were in a weird state of mind at that time.
Feeling nice.
But speaking of a weird state of mind, we're about to get a little weird. We've got some truly punch. I know you've seen our reviews, and they are real. Very good stuff.
I will say Dylan mistitled it on the Windshield Deep review. He said the berry pack. It is the punch pack. They do have a berry flavor.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Well,
Typical Windshield Deep fashion.
just a lot of Josh Berry going through my
Yeah.
head. Josh Berry is dad for all of us.
Very nice, though. Very nice. All four flavors are good.
Yeah. I'm drinking Josh Berry Punch.
I'm drinking citrus punch.
Yeah, haven't found one I don't like yet, but I will say this: I got them hot, so they were hot when I got them, and I was like, gonna go ahead and take a risk here, throw some on ice, see what happens. Pretty damn good on ice too. I mean, I was pretty surprised, and I will say other Trulies have been good on ice before, and these are almost better on ice. Now I don't know about frigid refrigerator cold, cans, but on ice, pretty damn good, especially if you're a red Solo cup kind of guy, or you're trying to hide your beverage, maybe at a child's birthday party or something like that. Don't be scared to throw a Truly on some ice in a red Solo cup. That being said, we got a pretty good show for you guys today. Landon's got a pretty cool announcement here in a little bit. I don't know when you thinking, late show, mid show.
We'll do it in the middle. My stream's already seen it, but a lot of you guys on Facebook have no idea what I'm about to announce. So I'm really excited to do that. We'll get to it here once we get to the middle of the show. Drew asked, why do I sound congested? Well, Drew, it's because I'm congested.
Yeah.
I did not snort a line of glitch. No, that is not the truth.
May have done
But I am slightly congested because this pollen go crazy out there.
Yeah, there's some crazy pollen days. Luckily, it doesn't really affect me. However, the other day when me and Moonhead went golfing, I was actually talking a little shit. I was like, usually by this point in the golf round, Landon starts sneezing like hell.
It's terrible.
Barely can see straight. Starts hitting the ball all over the place because his allergies just get to him. And not a hole later, me and him were both sneezing like hell and eyes watering because we went through a patch of pollen or something like that. But luckily, it's about to hit 90 degrees. Which is bittersweet, but that usually means the pollen's pretty much gone. And so everybody out there that has allergy issues, fear no more. It's getting better. With that being said, we have there's pretty interesting news today, and that's being the governor or our state government announced that we have $30 million investment to basically the Smith family's racetracks. Being Charlotte Motor Speedway gets $10 million. North Wilkesboro Speedway gets $10 million, and so does Rockingham. And these are all, I don't know how they're supposed to allocate the funds. I don't know if there's any rules to it and what they're supposed to be doing with it.
Said there was a $10 million investment to each of those racetracks. Why Charlotte needs $10 million, I'm not real sure, but I'm not complaining because North Wilkesboro is getting a $10 million allocation, and so is Rockingham. Now, if you've kept up with Rockingham over the past little bit, they recently, I think, are under new ownership, or I don't know exactly how that deal is working as far as ownership groups and that type of thing. But I do know that there are some new players involved there, and they, prior to COVID, announced that they were going to open up, I guess, what would be the Rockingham Entertainment Center or something of that nature. COVID kind of put a damper on that, but now we've got this new investment from the government that is hopefully going to uplift these tracks and get them back into the rotation of things. And honestly, Rockingham's cool. That's great. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, okay, cool, whatever. But North Wilkesboro. Now, we thought that for the longest time it was done, over with. I mean, that's pretty much like what it felt like.
Oh, Jesus, there's Snow added already. 20 gifted subs on Twitch. King Snow, there it is. Get them emotes going. He's back at it again.
Aha.
Snow, we've missed you. But yeah, we'll continue on that topic. But I did just see a question from Mr. Andrew Fuller asked when our first live show at the racetrack is going to be, and that is totally dependent on A, when I get my house done, and B, when Landon doesn't race. So we're looking for probably a Cars Tour event pretty soon. Hopefully this doesn't play every sub that he gifted, because that might blow our ears out. Can I mute that?
We have an idea. We will hopefully announce that soon. Our Trackside Live this go around will be much bigger
month or so
and
we'll
better.
We'll be at it.
Much bigger and better this go around. I can't wait for that. By the way,
I want to go to a dirt track.
That's gonna be a hell of a time. Listen, we're gonna go to some really nice racetracks, and we're gonna go to some really, really, let's just say, hole in the wall places.
Chili Bowl would be fun, but we would be the smallest media group there. We need to go somewhere where we are appreciated and we get good access. We need to go
Antioch Speedway.
To the Antiochs. We need to go to what's the other one?
I don't know. You got
Cherokee's
pretty
Lincoln?
big, but
is that it?
Yeah. No, you got East
Lincoln.
East
That's
Lincoln,
what it is. Yeah, East Lincoln. That's another. You hear a lot of good stories about it. Nonetheless, any short track in the area has always got we have a dartboard basically.
Yeah,
we just throw a dart and wherever it lands is where we're going to go. We might have to do that on stream one night. Hopefully to hell we've got good aim. We go somewhere close. But
Alaska.
Webert's Valley, we could go there. Yeah, that's if they're still going.
Get back on topic here. North Wilkesboro, it looks like it's going to be rejuvenated. Honestly, if this does happen, which it says it is going to, but if it does happen, this could be, honestly, the biggest thing that has happened to short track racing or NASCAR racing in general over the last, 15 years? 10, 15 years at least.
Yep.
I don't know if there is a more historic, venue right now within the NASCAR circuit that is laying dormant than North Wilkesboro. So it could be big news. I mean, honestly, with the direction that everything's going at the upper level of NASCAR, as far as don't even get me started on these quarter number V8 supercar looking race cars that we've got, these road course machines. But you know what? If they take them to North Wilkesboro, I'll go watch.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan. Speaking of that, and we'll get more into that, but you know what? Actually, we're going to save that topic. Don't let us forget to talk about the number moving situation topic. I know everybody's been debating it, but I have some good points to put across, I think.
We're protesting.
We are going to probably if they moved it to the quarter, I'd be protesting. Probably wouldn't go to a race ever again. The slid back, slid forward stuff still kind of irks us a little bit, but we're going to see what happens. Anyway, so the governor, those y'all just coming in, the governor, $30 million total, splitting it up 3 ways. Between Charlotte, Rockingham, and Wilkesboro. We don't know what they're going to do. Does that mean that they instantly repave it? Does that mean that they put safer barriers up? Do they put a new catch fence up? Do they just immediately?
I mean, I feel like the first rule of thumb is infrastructure. Right now, the infrastructure is not safe.
No.
So that's the first thing, is make it to where the facility at least is accessible.
Yeah.
And not falling down. So eventually, I think that's the first step. Racing surface obviously needs work, but the metal grandstands and everything that are there are usable.
They don't have to repave the racetrack in its entirety right off the get-go. I mean, they could seal the asphalt and cut up some spots. I think it's in 3 and 4 that's pretty bad. It's kind of like shelving sort of, like the asphalt literally like slides down. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but I do think they could probably get away with not much effort and be able to put a ARCA race there and a truck race there, maybe some late model weekends or whatever. But they've also talked a lot about $10 million would make a really, really nice dirt track, and which, anything at Wilkesboro would make me happy. But man, for one, I think that's way too damn big for a dirt track, at least for like local shows and stuff. I think the only way a dirt track can survive if it has local shows, local racing. And I don't think they probably would because it's Wilkesboro, at least in the start. But, God, that's a damn big dirt track. And it's an odd shape for a dirt track. I don't know how it would work. I'm not saying, never say never. But, the dirt track thing's a little
At first I was like, okay, well, if that's the only chance we have, then yes. But now that there's $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million, you can make that a racetrack.
I don't know. There's opportunity there. But nonetheless, big things happening in the short track industry. Like Snow said in the Twitch chat, there is $10 million allocated to short tracks in general.
Yeah.
So, not just got the Trilly burps going.
Oh.
Not just Wilkesboro, Rockingham, and Charlotte, but 2 short tracks in the North Carolina area as well. So, that's exciting. I mean, anytime money's being put into our grassroots side of the sport, that's a good thing, and we can't complain. I don't see a negative to this at all. So,
no.
Really excited for that. I think only good things to come on that front.
But not only that, you've also got Rockingham that's going to get $10 million. So, $10 million, I feel like it's more than enough to get Rockingham cup ready. I mean, I don't really, that facility isn't in that bad a shape. I'm sure they'd have to throw some asphalt down, and infrastructure, like you said, is definitely a thing. But Rockinham's been gone since, it's not had a cup race since 2000. Was it 4?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So 2004, I think Matt Kenseth won the last race, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, needs a lot of work. We'll see what happens. It's very early. We just heard the $30 million deal. May turn into a Democrat. I don't know. I mean, if they're going to give $30 million to racetracks, might have to change my political views.
Sold.
Anyways, with that being said, we covered the 30 million big buckaroos from the governor himself, the same guy that everybody hated last year. This might, maybe this is him, trying to heal some wounds.
Out. Yeah,
it's kind of like, when I throw up in a Hooters bathroom, I come back the next week, give them a $20 tip, because I know that somebody cleaned it. Yeah, I know somebody somewhere cleaned it up, and it may have not have been my waitress, but I feel like I'm just giving back to the community. And that's I think that's what Cooper's doing. He's basically threw up in a Hooters bathroom, and the next week he came back, gave her a $20, $35 tip, something like that. That's just
$30 million tip.
Yeah, $30 million. Nonetheless, what else is on our list? I guess we could go over some of this Tri-County stuff.
So we'll recap. Obviously, our big Midnight Madness show this past Saturday covered the old torque wrench dilemma and everything that went down at Tri-County this past weekend. We're not really going to quote or comment on anything as far as like what actually happened to the individuals because we really don't know. But we will read, if you haven't seen this, I'll read this Tri-County release that they put out 3 days ago. It says, statement regarding May 15th incidents. I'm just going to read this really quick for those of you that haven't heard it yet. It says, on May 15th, 2021, during the 75-lap late model feature event at Tri-County Motor Speedway, we had incidents involving 2 teams with an altercation that occurred after the race. As a result of those actions, 2 individuals were detained and were arrested. We have begun our investigation, and all team members that were involved in the incidents during the course of the night will have penalties assessed in the coming days, with indefinite suspensions also being handed out where they are warranted. Tri-County Speedway has a zero-tolerance policy for the actions that took place on May 15th, and we will continue to strive for a safe and fun family experience. We appreciate your support and understanding of these serious, unfortunate circumstances. Tri-County. So that is a statement straight from Tri-County's mouth hole. Mm-hmm. I feel like, we'll see what the suspensions are because they haven't really announced any of those yet. They also announced that there was a post-race infraction, and they threw Charlie Watson out.
Yeah, for shocks, I think, right? Must have had some adjustable shocks on there.
He had non-adjustables, but they were gas shocks. They were not oil shocks. So Charlie kicked their ass. I'd like to say that probably didn't make a difference. If they were oil shocks, he was probably going to wear them out anyways. But that is a statement that they made.
There's a couple more statements I wanted to read. So Justin Johnson actually put out his official statement. He said this past Saturday night, the JJR team and members were involved in some altercations. He pretty much just kind of went over quickly. I'll let you guys go check out Justin's page and read the whole deal. But at the end of it, he was on Doc Love's Race 22 radio podcast the other day, and James Benfield, the security guard, whose son was one of the guys getting hit by the torque wrench, James commented directly to Justin and Brittany Johnson's Facebook page and said, "This is James, the security guard from Tri-County. Thank you for the kind words about Sam and I. It really means a lot to us. Listened to Doc Love's podcast last night. Good luck this weekend, and yeah, we are an older and younger version of Arnold." So I guess at some point they said he looked like Schwarzenegger. Both of them did. Whom we talked about the other night. The last person we would want to get an altercation with is
James.
Security guard James.
Yeah, or his son.
Well, then we seen the son too. It's like, oh my god, But yeah, so it was wild night. But looks like they're trying to get things smoothed over for the most part. Seems like things are working out, which is what we want. I don't know about the other individual that was injured. Don't know how the charges and all that stuff's going to work out with that. Know if there is any charges as far as that goes, but it seems like they're trying to smooth things over as best as possible. There's a little more in the rumor mill. I've heard, teams leaving teams, chassis builders changing, stuff like that after the events. I'll let you guys kind of put your own synopsis on that. But there's definitely some rumor mill stuff flowing about certain individuals that were injured switching chassis builders. I'll leave it at that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so a lot of crazy stuff going on. I'm sure everybody will figure all that out pretty soon.
RNS did make a statement. If you guys want to read that, you can go to their Facebook page. That will, that pretty much self-explanatory. You can go read that. You can read Justin's statement on his page, and if you want to, you can rewatch the Doc Love podcast on Race 22.
Yeah, with Justin on the show. So,
I guess a little bit after that, we can go ahead and move into the racing this weekend. We can go over Cars Tour's back this weekend. Headed to Caraway. Don't like that track.
Yeah, we've always put it out there. It was actually on our first shirt, our first Windshield Deep shirt we came out with, the track shirt, which is going for hundreds of dollars on StockX right
massive,
now.
hundreds of dollars.
They ran out real fast. It's a very, at the time it was a one groove track, had pretty good asphalt, so it was really hard to pass. And I raced there one time, didn't really like it. I've watched a lot of races there that were good, but it's a difficult play. At least from when I ran it, it was just kind of hard to. I didn't get out of the car and say, "Man, that was fun as shit. Can't wait to race here again." I was like, "Yeah, that sucked. That was the most boring race I ever had in my life."
Yeah, motor means a lot there, right against the bottom.
And brakes.
Yep, a lot of brakes.
Got to have big time brakes, big time motor, and in 2014 we definitely did not have neither one of those. So, with that being said, everybody's got good cars in the Cars Tour. So it's going to be a good race. The Cars Tour doesn't put on a bad race. It's either a really good race up front or it's a shit show and every fan there has a great time. I mean, there's no in between. I've never sat there and watched a Cars Tour race that sucked, at least a late model stock race. And at the end of the day, even if it's Caraway, which, some people have their opinions about, including myself, it's a good chance it's going to be a really good race with all the, the best guys, the best late model stock racers in the country dueling it out for probably 125 or so laps.
It'd be a good show. I think it is 125 laps. There's 20 on the entry list. I can go ahead and go over this entry list super fast. We got Deep McCaskill, Brandon Pierce, Jonathan Finley, Caden Honeycutt, Dylan Ward, Jared Fryer, Joe Valento, Jason York, Connor Jones, who is in a GMS car this week, not a darn car. He's been in a darn car the past couple of weeks.
Switching teams.
Bobby McCarty, Mason Diaz, which I think is a darn car. Could be wrong. Coy Beard, Justin Johnson. He's in the 44. I don't know if that is an RNS car or not. RNS house car or not. Could be. I don't know on that.
Could be his car. Yeah.
It could be his car. He has been running the RNS house car, though.
Yeah.
Minnie Tyrell, Sam Butler, Mike Looney, William Cox, which is a junior car, Jonathan Schaefer, Sam Yarborough, and Lane Riggs. So,
no Josh Berry. Josh Berry is racing Xfinity, or no?
Josh
he's not
is not racing this weekend.
So Josh is just off.
Yeah.
Josh is taking a break this week. Give the guy a break.
Josh is on a boat somewhere,
smoking a fat cigar,
a massive cigar,
hanging with the family,
got catching
marlins.
Yeah, marlins and dolphins and shit.
So I can't wait to take over the 48 next year, or possibly Junior's Motorsports Cup team. Who knows?
Yeah.
Speaking of Junior, the Dirty Mo Media podcast, Door Bumper Clear, gave us a nice little shout out.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. We've made it big time when we've got the, Door Bumper Clear. They at least know who we are.
Yeah. Shout out to Freddie Kraft, TJ Majors, Brett Griffin, and Chris Rice for giving us some love. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They commented on our drunken activities.
I think the thing that he liked was our
play-by-play.
Our initial reactions, which it worked out because usually we're 3 sheets to the wind at that point, and we can't use any of that on social media. Well, luckily you had just got out of your race car.
Yeah, I was only a few in at that point.
Yeah, I will say the other day when me and Moonhead was golfing, I hit my first shot, or he hit his first shot, went a little right, not great, not right down the fairway, but decent. And I said, he said, man, that sucked. You know how he is. And I was like, it still went further than Landon went in the race the other night. So, that was
I appreciate
pretty
that.
cold. I wish I would have videoed it, because that would have been great if I was streaming that. But is this a good time to announce to the public what is happening in your life this weekend?
Yeah. So, out of nowhere, y'all, as you know, I've been racing for Jason Smith past couple of weekends. I ran Hickory. Yeah, I'm pregnant.
Pregnant. He said he's
I'm
pregnant.
No. So the past couple weekends I've been racing for Jason Smith, raced at Hickory, raced at Tri-County. I've also got to race a few times this year for Dylan and Doug Hauser. But this weekend, I'm excited to announce out of nowhere that I get a little hat here that I can put on.
Oh yeah, hat swap.
Yeah, hat swap and everything from my '90s Sunoco hat that I will be racing for GMS.
At Coda.
No, I'm racing the GMS late model stock car this weekend at Tri-County. Huge opportunity for myself. Very excited. It's probably it's not probably. It is the best opportunity I've ever had in a late model. By far, the biggest operation I've ever had the privilege to drive for. So I'm very excited for that. I got the call here a couple of days ago, yesterday, on my stream, live on my stream. So that was interesting. That literally does not happen in this day and age. So very thankful for that. I get to work with Clay Rogers. He's the crew chief over that deal. We're going to go kick some ass this weekend at Tri-County. So looking forward to it. We got twin 40s, and I'm excited. I'm excited to help them improve their program, and we'll see what happens.
You know what's funny about it is I was actually moseying around, eating lunch, getting ready to go work on the whole house, and I got a call from Clay Rogers. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Why is Clay calling me? Maybe he needs decals or something. Didn't know what was going on, so I answered it. And we shot the shit a little bit, and he's like, hey, you got Landon's number? I'm like, yeah, I'll send it over to you. So I could have said, no, I don't have it.
You could have.
And it may have been somebody else in the car. You never know. So just, y'all can thank me too.
So apparently Dylan was the
I'm kind of the sole reason it all happened. So you're welcome. I'm footing the bill. I'm doing all I could to do it.
In all reality, oh my God, easy.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Very thankful for the opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. I haven't raced Tri-County a whole lot, so twin 40s will have an opportunity at 2 trophies. And like I said, I'm excited to work with Clay, excited to work with everybody at GMS. Hopefully I can help them move their program forward a little bit and learn a little bit about the race cars. So that's pretty much what I'm there for.
Yep. Yeah, got to head back to Tri-County this weekend to watch the man drive a GMS car. So that should be pretty neat. Nice car. Did you bring your own seat, or how'd that work out for you? I'm a little curious.
No.
They have their own seats?
I'm just driving what's in it already.
Oh, okay. A little snug. How's it working?
It's cutting in on my rib area a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a lot here over the last probably 6 months.
Yeah, it's probably not usually something great to say, but.
Well, I mean, not
they hired us for a reason.
Not like over the top drinking, but like
somebody's got to drink.
But like drinking and not working out like I should.
Yeah.
So I'm gaining a little weight.
Yeah, I talked to my dad and some buddies the other day.
You're about to say your dietitian.
No, well, probably should. I graduated to an XL. I went from a large. I added an X. It's official.
No.
I've pretty much made my mind up. I've added an X. And probably should have added an X for the last year or maybe longer, but I finally just took the step and like, wow, these are larger. My stomach doesn't poke out when the wind blows as much. They're a little bit. This one's a little too big, but switched my golf shirt game up to the XLs. So we've graduated. So I would like to thank everybody for this journey, for forcing me to drink Trulies all day.
How much weight was that? Like, from your large to extra large, what was the weight discrepancy?
I'm still 200 flat.
You think we're gaining like girth or?
Well, I think I just the abs turned into a little bit of a beer gut. Used to have abs and be about 190. Well, god dang, you hit 25 and go from 190 to 200, and that baby fat muscles you have is just gone.
Yeah, I think I'm about in that same boat.
But nonetheless,
GMAT says I ain't seen that low in years.
we're in the 200s, but I don't think we're much over. I could be flirting with like 205 now. We'll see.
All right. Well, that was my news. It will be a 21 car. We'll have a little press release they're putting out, I think, Friday morning. So be looking for that on my social media. Honestly, I was blindsided by it, but I'm excited to get to work. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I guess with that, we have a call-in segment tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and this is a very controversial topic, so I think that this could provide some solid call-in content and give you guys a platform to kind of, sorry, Skin Doggy said 3 bills, yo.
Yeah,
you'll have that
written all over me one day, probably.
I forgot my, okay. Yeah, our call-in segment tonight, it is a little controversial, but I think that it'll be a good opportunity for you guys to lay out your opinions and have some healthy conversation. But tonight, our topic is car counts. Why are our late model stock car counts down this year? Obviously, we understand why they were up at some tracks last year, being that there was only a few tracks open.
Yeah.
But what is the main cause of our low car counts, or what can we do to improve those car counts in late model stock racing in the Southeast?
Yeah, I think we all know why. It's just, what is your solution? We all know it's because of the high cost of racing. I mean, racing costs a lot of money. It doesn't pay much to win. Tires are expensive. Gas is expensive. There's a global pandemic going on. The economy kind of sucks. So, I mean, there's just a lot of reasons why. But what is, if you ran a racetrack, what are your solutions? We've had several people say they would do this and that and this and that. But, I mean, let's hear it. I'll put the number on the screen.
Hauser said, you done going to GMS, I'm going to have to put a damn driver's lounge in my trailer to drive my car.
All right, so if you guys want to call, these are our number, 358 or 828-358-4977. And I think
so far Tri-County's car counts have been good, Jacob, but it's inevitable. It will happen. There will be lower counts at times. It's just part of the evolution of the season. But Tri-County has done a very good job of getting cars there. So maybe what has Tri-County done differently, other than it being, the newness factor, I guess, moving forward, and what can these other tracks do to make it better? And please don't call in and say, well, I think they should let the boys just have at it, because clearly that ain't always the best solution.
Yeah, we're more talking financially. What's the answer to a lot of it?
Yeah, clearly that's not always the best solution.
There's so many different. The highest probably highest car counts for South Boston, Tri-County. Bowman Gray will have a good car count once.
Bowman Gray's always gonna have a good car
open
count.
up. I mean, like I said in a recent conversation, Bowman Gray is always going to have a good. I mean, they're in the middle of Winston-Salem. They're in a football stadium, and there's guaranteed fight every night. I mean, they're always going to have a great. And I ain't taking nothing away from Bowman Gray, but
that's part of it.
It's kind of a different. It's kind of a different.
You can't
animal.
compare. That's like comparing apples to bananas.
Yeah, it's a different animal than any other short track in the whole world. Literally, like there's nothing else like it, and that's why it's
Chris says there was 20 plus at Stafford last weekend, and that may be the case. We're not completely up to date on racetracks, outside of the Southeast. This is more of a Southeast late model stock thing, in my opinion. I mean, we've struggled with super late model car counts down here for a while, depending on what the race is. But this is more of a late model stock thing. So the number's open. You're more than welcome to call in now. It's on the screen. So if any of you guys out there on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube would like to call in and give us your opinion, by all means, have at it. Let's see.
I'm reading some of y'all's comments. Y'all are just full time. Some of these people just choose violence. Wake up and choose violence every day. Yeah, that's the number. We're I think 358-4977. I'll make sure I'm not on.
Haywood says it's even bad on the West Coast. There's 4 to 8 cars at Tucson, 2 to 3 in Vegas. Oh my God. Yeah. SRL has 16 to 24 though. That SRL's a touring deal, similar to what Cars Tour, right? Out there, out west.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, if there was answers to it, I mean, yeah, you can say you pay more to win, but I mean, the track's got to make money too to keep running, and with not many cars, they can't pay much. So like, it's just like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of deal.
South Boston just adjusted some rules sets, to I guess be more fitting with other racetracks in their area. So maybe that's a direction. South Boston has one of the best payouts, and it costs very little to go race there compared to other tracks as well. So, South Boston's in a little different scenario, being that they've got, more financial backing than others.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with our area is the fact that Hickory and Tri-County race on the same night. And, if they're going to compete with each other, so be it. Right now, obviously, Tri-County's on top, but eventually they might piss some people off there, and they want to go back to Hickory, and then it's just going to be kind of a standstill of like 8 cars at each track rather than 16 on this Saturday, 16 the next. If they want to race on Saturdays, run on alternating weekends or something, but that's kind of a ship that's already sailed.
Yeah, that ship's not coming back. It sunk a while ago.
So
I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, what is your guys' opinion? This, like I said, line's open. You guys are welcome to call in. Haywood, or no, let's see. Snow said allowing crowds back now might help. Florence was packed 2 weeks ago and had a good field. This could help. I agree. Tech and promoters are usually enemy number one. Well, that's, I guess that could play into the factor.
Yeah.
Or factor in as well. I think that's, issues with track management has been a reoccurring thing here in the Southeast, especially with certain racetracks.
Yeah, I race that might help Hickory a little bit. I mean, not much. You might add a car or two. Just somebody says, well, I ran on iRacing, I'd run it in real life, but it definitely won't hurt. I need a refill. I'm going to leave you to it. Do you need a refill?
Will you get me another drink, please?
Yep.
Perfect. I guess, I could give a little bit of my opinion on it. I mean, I try to stay relatively neutral just because I'm racing at, both racetracks here local to me, being Hickory and Tri-County. I think Hickory in the past has done well, and then I've seen them struggle, and I've seen Tri-County struggle back in the 2010s where we only had 3 or 4 cars. And then, nowadays Tri-County is doing really well. So, at least prior to last weekend's escapade, which I don't think that'll really affect the car count. However, in my opinion, I think Tri-County is doing a fine job. Now, some of the areas I think Tri-County could work on. One, security, obviously. We've got to have some type of security at the racetrack. I feel like that was evident this past weekend. Tech is not the greatest at Tri-County right now. A lot of just, I guess, well, let's just say there's not a whole lot of Tech. That's probably the better option. Now, they did throw Charlie out and found out that he was running gas shocks and not oil shocks, but that's an easy one. Hickory, usually in the past, the Tech has been really good. Why?
Got him. Honestly, I kind of just want to try it. Smirnoff margarita.
I mean, you fucking ass.
Yeah, so right now, guys, if you're listening, I'll probably end up just releasing this episode as a podcast. What's going on here? Moonhead! Thanks for the subscription. Here, you want me to get it? No, God, you're going to break it. These twist off.
No, they don't. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I loosened it up for you.
Well, they're definitely twist tops. How's that? It looks great.
No.
Not great?
No. You know what it tastes like?
What's that?
A shittier version of those screwdrivers we used to drink.
Yeah, that's absolutely fucking vile and disgusting.
It's exactly what I expected from a Smirnoff Ice. I'm not drinking it.
Nope. We're moving on to Tropical Punch. This one's my favorite. It's a little bit of watermelon / pineapple. What is that? Is that a dragon fruit? Is that what that is?
I believe that's a flower.
Oh, well. Yeah, we did swap a little spit there. God dang, you're sick too. Here, hand me that Germex. I'm going to snort some.
All right. Well, I guess if none of you guys are going to call in, is there any questions you guys have for us? If there's anything that you would like to know our opinion on, you're more than welcome to type that in the chat. We're just now getting back in the swing of this thing. So you literally just ate that Germex. That is not healthy for you. That is worse than you drinking.
I just rubbed a little on my lips.
This is good right here.
Serious question. Is the money there? I read an article the other day from, I think, Max Presswood's National Late Model Championship, and they said it was worth $250,000. Josh Berry won it last year, and it was worth $25,000. Are drivers just giving up for the lack of money? Yeah, probably. I mean, that's definitely a contributing factor. The price of racing went up, and the price that it pays out went down. So it's definitely going to stop, Jim Bob from up the road grabbing a new late model going and racing. I think that's definitely a factor.
Yeah, the biggest difference between late model stock racing now and late model stock racing in the 80s and 90s is the average racer at your local short track can't go late model stock racing now because you're competing against, the larger truck teams and rental programs that are coming in and spending a lot of money. They have the best of the best equipment, and usually the kids can drive for the most part. So, you're battling against that every week, and it just makes it harder for the everyday, local short track guy to be able to show up.
Oh, there's a phone
Got a
call.
call in.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey there. How's it going?
Hey, CE Falk. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, CE? You have now contacted the Claremont Rub and Tug.
I contacted who?
I'm just kidding, man. What's going on?
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm in Lowe's. I'm trying to find a dryer vent for my house.
Oh,
Perfect.
And but I'm listening to you guys as I'm like walking around here trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing.
yeah.
Well, what do you think, man?
Oh, I mean, exactly what that just guy said. I mean, look, back in the day, Mark McFarland won the national championship, and he got like an extra, $75,000, whatever it was, just because he was on Goodyear tires.
Yeah.
Plus all the other money and stuff. And, look, I mean, the racetracks, I mean, I've done this a long time. I'm probably one of them guys that should be racing, but, life is just doing other things. But, I read, someone said today that Hoosier tires are $688 a set now at Langley.
Yep.
I'm sure they're higher at Florence, and Langley still pays $2,000 to win. I think South Boston still, they're paying like $3,500, I think. But, this is the same conversation. I was sitting there at Motor Mile, and that, the Sheeler guy, sitting there talking about, go open this place back up. We're going to do you guys right and all that stuff. And, oh, by the way, we're going to pay, $900 to win a twin feature. It just doesn't make no sense. I mean, you guys know that set of slave arms now costs $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And we're all doing it to ourselves. I mean, we're, you said truck arms now probably used to be $300 or $400. Now they're $800. It's nothing more than what they were 15 years ago. Obviously the motor deal has gotten worse. I mean, we're all on 350 carburetors. Now we're got 650s and we're spinning the tires and we still don't have any brakes to stop them.
Right.
Which, that's a, big argument. It's like, oh God, can't put a, dual piston caliper on this thing, but let's put more carburetor on it and a super sucker and everything else we could put on this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it still weighs 3,100 pounds. Why do we weigh 3,100 pounds? Why don't we weigh 2,800 pounds like a super? Maybe be a little more manageable on the tires and we can save tires and things like that. But it's never going to end. And honestly, there's no new people. I mean, I talked to some of my friends that used to race, and there's nobody new coming in. I mean, you had guys on the tour like Corey Hine that they were on the tour for a year and a half or whatever, and now they're gone. This is a stepping stone now, like it's always supposed to be. But there's no, the Deep McCaskells and C.E. Falks and Josh Berries and Lee Williams and stuff. We're having kids, and we're getting old.
Right.
And Philip Morris, and God bless him, he did it longer than anybody on planet Earth, and he finally had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he had his own issues, and God bless him. I hope he's doing okay. But at some point, there's got to be new people that take the reins. And honestly, it's when you think about going late model stock car racing, you got to spend $1,500 on the weekends.
Yeah.
Most people can probably buy a badass wakeboard boat, for $1,500 a month.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're hitting the nail on the head, and I think that you say $900 up there. Well, we race for $650 at Hickory, so consider yourself blessed. But outside of that, I mean, when I was racing full time at Hickory in 2015, even the costs then were substantially lower than what they are now. We had 604 crate motors. You could make the crate motor work. You were still competitive with it. I didn't have to buy a set of mock-up tires to be competitive. It was much easier to go to the racetrack and race late model stock, and we had a lot more local people that were here local to Hickory and Charlotte and that area that would come out and race because it was feasible and you could compete. And now, and the tour came back that year, And I'm not going to say the tour is a direct influence of that because you have the same people that race in that every year, but the money continues to get more expensive. So I don't know. I do think that late model stock.
Well, they tried to fix the motor deal. We all were running these steelhead 350 Chevrolet motors that we've run forever.
Yeah.
We're getting everything we can out of it with a 500 XP 2-barrel, and then it's like, nobody can find clock heads. Clock heads are going for $2,500, $3,000 a set. Why don't we make our own head and put it on there? So all these guys try to get together and do that. And then they said, well, this Chris Hansen guy, he wants to build his own motor and do that, which is fine. Hey, you're going to build a motor and it only costs you $10,000. That's cool. That's great. Let's do it. No problem.
Right.
And then it's like, the original deals were supposed to be only turning this thing 7,200. Somehow we all forgot about that. Now, people are trying to get away with turn a Harrington motor 7,600. And, oh yeah, let's buy it brand new with a 30 over block and then just punch it out to 58.
Yep.
So we can get 50 more horsepower out of it.
Yeah.
So we can just throw it away after the first time it gives a hiccup.
Yeah.
I mean, so we just do it to ourselves, unfortunately. And it's like technology. You can't once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it back in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, having I think at the end of the day, it's probably time just to phase out late model stock at a local level and just make it, the limited feature division.
Right.
And, if you want to run late model stock, you probably just go, it just needs to be Cars Tour or, do a deal where they run once a month.
Right.
Between all these tracks in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, I want to run them.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, shoot, if you go on the tour, you got to test 2 days before because you only get, I tried to do it. I wanted to do it, but, you only got it says it's 45 minutes on the sheet or whatever, but it's more like 10 minutes.
Right.
You really get only 2 runs, and then you really only get 2 or 3 runs on Saturday, and then boom, you're qualifying.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know how hard it is to work. You can't even try to change you might be changed one coilover spring in that time, but if you go there and you're off,
you're going to struggle.
It's no fun to run 12th.
Yeah.
You guys know that.
Oh yeah.
Especially not spending the money you have to spend. So it's just...
Yeah, you'll spend $1,400 on 2 sets of tires. It's just like I said, the money is not kept up. South Boston's doing all they can.
Yeah.
But like you just said, they're in a different position than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the promoters and all these things, they just got in the way of making all their money off the back gate and then just taking all the front gate money as pure profit.
Yeah.
So then the pandemic happened and, they try to charge the racers more,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. We all needed a race. Like I said, I'm dying to race. I got my car almost ready to go, but like you said, there's no new blood, man.
Yeah.
There's no new blood, and you guys, I know you guys are doing all you can, but ain't like, but it's crazy. You talk to Roger, you talk to Jay Hitchcock, and they're 10 cars behind.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where are all those new cars going?
Yeah. No
So,
kidding.
Dominion's got a good count. They, and they're on a career. You don't hear about them having a tire shortage. So
Right.
I don't know how you fix it. It's not easy. Probably the best thing is just do like they did in 1982 and, make the late model stock deal of the Busch series and then
Yeah.
and then make a new late model stock.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So here's a fact for you. So my dad, he was a racer. You probably, heard of my dad because of me. But,
oh yeah.
He ran Busch Grand National. South Boston paid him $800 just to show up and run a late model race.
Yeah. That's crazy.
For one night, and he was a top 10 guy. He wasn't Butch Lindley or Tommy Ellis or Sam Ard or some of these other cats. So how much were they getting? $1,500?
Yeah. No kidding.
When's the last time you actually heard of somebody getting paid to show up?
Oh yeah.
I've heard rumblings of a track promoter buying tires for another competitor to show up, but
Right.
that kind of money is just
just
doesn't happen anymore.
No, you had that happen at multiple tracks. You had, I don't know, my dad talked about, match races they've had, or they've, brought out Davey Allison, who raced, one of Max Presswood's cars one time. There was just a lot of, Busch Series competitors, even Cup Series competitors that were brought out to race at the local level because it brought fans to the racetracks, but there was money there to be moved around because the sport was doing well. So I don't know. I mean, I think you make some very valid points. I think the limited divisions do well at some tracks, but hell, even those are struggling in some places. So it's frustrating because there is a lot of names in the sport that I don't see, or a lot of names in local short track racing, late model stock racing in particular, that I don't even see anymore. And that's unfortunate because, that was the lifeblood of what we call late model stock racing. And if all those people phase out and there's no new personalities outside of a lot of these rental programs, then it may die. You're right. It very well may die. It may go away, and we may have to condense it to something. So
yeah. I mean, I tell you that I don't follow much of the Tri-County deal. Obviously, this week I was very into it, like the Real Housewives of fucking New Jersey or
County.
whatever. But anyway, that Zach Franks kid has been tearing them up in one of my old cars, and I mean, that was a car. I mean, I won all the money in, and I've tried giving it away for like 2 years. I mean, finally let it go for pennies of what it cost me to build it. That kid's kicking ass in that car right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's opportunity there, and people need to take advantage of it. But like I said, I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe a guy like me, maybe I need to run limited and do that. But I don't, I still feel like I can kick some ass sometimes. So, even as old as I am, but it probably does need to die, and then just try something else. Because you're trying to resurrect somebody that's a vegetable at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think you'd be a great guest to come on the show one of these days. And you figure out a day you're in the Hickory area, you can come on and we'll have you on a live show if that sounds good to you.
I live in Mooresville, so I'm not too terribly far.
Perfect.
Yeah, you just need to come on the show one of these days and
drinks on us.
And we'll talk about how bad you want to kick Kyle Larson's ass.
So you're trying to come race at Hickory?
I'm just waiting to see when he comes by Lowe's or Best Buy.
Hey, we had somebody in the chat say you got to ask him if he raced again, would you dump Kyle Larson's shit? And I think that gives us the answer. Well, it sounds like you found your dryer vent.
Yeah, it sounds like you found your dryer vent.
Do what now?
It sounds like you found your dryer vent. I heard the Lowe's checkout thing going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually kind of gave up. I think I can make it happen.
Well,
but it's not exactly like finding a crush panel in here to fix your old stuff.
Right.
You got to change it on you. So
yeah.
Now I got me some duct tape and 2 dryer vents. I'm gonna try to make it happen here.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm hopping down. We'll climb a 50-foot ladder. But you mean after the race or what? Because I don't know.
Oh, it depends on what racetrack you're at.
Right.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the guy.
Definitely after Daytona.
I mean, look, I think looking back on it now, he got a lot of bad shit out of that too. I mean, he did get a trophy and $15,000 that should have been mine, but it's racing. Shit happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. You go back and piss and moan about all you want, or just move on. So at the time, I was young and dumb and thought I still had a shot, and now I have 0 shot. So probably I would junk his shit right after the race. But it was Lee McCall stuff. So why would I do that to my buddy?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
true.
Just, unless he was going to charge him $110 an hour for the labor rate,
right?
It, and he was going to cut me half. That'd be good. But at the time, we had a lot of racing to do right afterwards, and we went to South Boston like 2 weeks later and won. So. Why am I sit there and knock the front clip off my car if I want to be a spoiled brat?
Right.
I mean, it's just everybody can say what they want. I mean, until you live it, it's a different story.
Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate your call in, man. One of these days we'll get you on the show. We'll send you a message after this, try to line something up.
I love the show, and I love the live thing y'all did after the race.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we're sporadic, and you never know exactly what's going to happen. But we're going to try to be more persistent with our weekly live shows. But hell, you never know when we're going to fire that thing up like that.
Yep.
I mean, do y'all put extra stuff in them Trulies? There's no way y'all get as hammered as you do.
Well, usually we're
two
cannot confirm.
We may or may not have a couple extra cups sitting around out of frame that we add to the flame with.
You just
but,
have to come check that out.
yeah. You have to come see for
All right,
yourself
yeah.
one of these days.
That's cool.
All right,
well,
see, we appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, see you, man.
See ya.
Well, that's a pretty cool call in. We got a
Yeah,
call
yeah.
in from C Fault, I guess. I mean,
All
hopefully it was actually him. It could have just told, I mean, because we don't know. I mean, I don't have his number
we,
saved.
we have no caller ID.
Yeah.
But I would say that I'm pretty positive that was C. So,
Sounded like C.
C,
so
we appreciate
that
you
was
calling
really
in,
cool.
man. Yeah, we appreciate it. Hopefully that was a good conversation, Chad.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about what he said, but I think he made some very valid points. And you know, there's a lot of opinions on where it's at right now. So, you know, Dylan, I feel like that was a pretty good first show
that
back.
was a great show back. I'll probably release this as a podcast as well, just to kind of get that going. Usually we'll do that separately, but kind of pressed on time, and I felt like this was a pretty. This show wasn't as much talking to the viewers. We kind of stayed on track here, so
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be good to. We'll post this as an audio podcast for those of you that are just tuning in, don't really want to watch the video, maybe want to listen to it on your way to work or something like that. You can. We'll have it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. You'll be able to listen to it however you want to listen to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we covered a lot today. We talked about North Wilkesboro, the $30 million investment to the North Wilkesboro, Rockingham, and Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep.
We talked about the Tri-County mishap and the Band-Aids being put on the bullet holes. But yeah, and as well as Landon's big announcement, racing for GMS in a late model this weekend at Tri-County Motor Speedway. So for those of you that are in the area or want to make the trip to see Landon race, it's a good opportunity probably to go see him in really good equipment. And hopefully all goes well for you and go get you a couple trophies. You got 2 chances at it, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, after we win this weekend, we'll do another emergency live show.
Emergency press conference after 100%. If Landon wins, emergency press conference following.
Right here.
We'll have it right here.
Live.
Trophies, maybe a tattoo. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have Michael Honda. He'll be in attendance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you enjoyed this show again, per normal, it's gonna be our new thing. Make sure you comment Michael Honda on our last post. I had a lot of Michael Honda comments after our live show. He's gonna be a reoccurring guest.
Yes.
You know, all-time favorite. Michael Honda has absolutely no idea what he's talking about when it comes to racing, but
Michael Honda loves strippers and Bud Light. That's
He
his
loves
2 favorite
strippers and Bud
things,
Light,
and
yep.
we're going to probably make some merchandise for him one of these days. Speaking of merchandise, you can go to windshielddeep.shop, get you a Short Tracks Only shirt.
We're
We
running
showed them
out.
to you last time, getting really low.
Yep.
We're not going to make another run of them. Our next run will be our next track we go to probably, and then
Yep.
maybe some generics we put out. But, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. I guess that covers everything, right? We good to go?
I think we've covered it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us again.
Yeah.
Solid hour show there, and like I said, we'll try to do a call-in segment every week. Cover what's going on in short track racing, but boys and girls, Windshield Deep is back, baby.
Yeah, we're back.
Windshield
We're,
Deep is
we're in
back.
action. It kind of looks good in here for once, and we're gonna keep digging about every week. Probably mostly on Tuesday nights. It was gonna be our best bet. We did it tonight because we was kind of stuck doing stuff last night. But about a month from now, we're probably gonna be going to racetracks again. So stay tuned. Remember to follow the Windshield Deep pages. Also, Landon's personal and my personal. We keep everybody updated on there. But it's been a good show, guys. We appreciate it. It's been real. It's been fun. It ain't been real fun. Live every day like it's Saturday. We'll see you guys.